Folks, what's going on? This is Big Daddy coming out here with you. This is my government name is Philip Magana, as you know, because I forgot to change my damn name up here. I have a very special guest here with me today. It's my soul sister from the Transcendence Ceremony down in Sedona, the beautiful Christin. How you doing, girl?
Good morning. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Now we're on here because of your idea, and I think it's a very, very cool ass idea, folks. She said you should get people on there and have them just rave and rant, talk shit, here on the Big Daddy Forever podcast. That's exactly what we do, and it's gonna fit right in. This is, I know y'all gonna love her.
Well, I
I
was
do.
listening. Well, you caught me on one of your ads or whatever, and you were like, "Oh, I'm about to go off," and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to hear this." So I was like, I'm listening to you. I didn't even know what you were talking about, but it was so funny. Like just the way that you were like delivering the
uh,
message, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if like people could just like authentically show up as themselves and just let go, right? And I
exactly.
feel like, yeah, that's the idea. Is just bring it.
And that's exactly what we're gonna
Love
do.
it.
And because you gave me that idea, you're number one. You are the first one we're gonna do this with because like I said, I have a bunch of people who said that, yeah, no, I'll participate. And some of the people who said that they would do it, that who would come on and rant and rave, especially here in this damn town. I'm like, all right, okay. And we did a handshake deal. So it, I can't wait for this. I can't
For
wait for yours.
sure.
So first and foremost,
I'm gonna need some prompts. Yeah.
want some prompts? Okay, I'll give you plenty of prompts. Okay, we talked about stuff that's going on in the world a few times. I've seen some of the stuff that you post on Instagram. Of course, I'm a loyal follower. You post some good stuff, but there's some stuff that I've seen on there like okay, she's angry about something. She wants to just unload. So your meme when you post your memes, what are the themes behind some of your memes that you post? Like some of the ones that just seem like they're not angry, but they have a message.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those that don't know me, which probably everyone, my Instagram is Christina Spiritual CFO, which is just Kristen A Spiritual CFO. My name's Christin Adria. The spiritual is just embodiment of who I am, what I bring to the table. CFO is Chief Financial Officer. That's what I do for a living. I work in finance. I manage money. I help people with business advisory services. And I also am a Reiki Master and understand energy as this like tremendous awareness of energy and how energy flows with money in this world. And I'm also a big advocate for women, women's empowerment, just from my own story and the work I've done in this world. Want to bring through this just like strength, right? I want to give that like support to other women because I know it is hard right now, right? It's always
Yes, it
hard, but right
is.
now it's especially hard. Like we're under attack, basically. If you don't know, we're under attack, and it's time to step up, right? It's time to step into that warrior energy, right? And so I do a lot of my work is through my blog on Medium, where I'm just learning how to share more of my voice and working through a book that I'm working on called Energy Currency. Energy
Nice.
currency just being that regenerative self regenerative source of energy that you can tap into when you are focused, when you are calm, when you are present, and bringing that to your day to day, right? And I talk about money and I work with money because I want to help people understand that money is not just something that you have, right? I believe in financial freedom, right? Doing what
Right.
you want, where you want, with whom you want, and when you want, right? I think at the end of the day, like, why do we want money? It's so that we can be ourselves, right? And have that
Yes,
freedom.
absolutely.
So, so I share, so yes, about memes, right? I share from that place of sovereignty, right? Of warrior energy, of how do you be and show up in your authenticity and yourself, right? In your day to day. And I see a lot of people out there and they're coming at it from a place of like anger, right? And like we talked about this podcast, right? There's a place for that. And I want people to show up in their anger too, But I'm not like, that's not what's behind like what I'm sharing, right? I've done my anger management. I've done my grief processing. Like I want to show up, and there's a strength past the anger that you can show up with. And so that's where I'm sharing from a place of, hopefully a place of love, but yeah, place of like no punches, right? I'm not gonna take any
Exactly. It's
BS.
all love. It
No
is
one's
all
gonna tell me.
love.
Yeah, yeah. And you talk about triggers, right? So in like ranting, when I'm trying to think about things to talk about, I really get triggered by people that are like, oh, I can't do that because I don't have enough money. Like that is a huge trigger for me because I'm the type of person that is never gonna let anyone tell me I can't do anything. And by the way, if you tell me I can't do something, I love it because I want to go do that
You want
thing.
to go prove their ass is wrong, huh?
Go do that thing. And I get triggered by people who are like, I don't have enough money. I'm like, oh shit. Like, no. Like don't, if you're never gonna have enough money if you have that attitude. Right.
Right.
So
I,
it's like
I'm guilty at
there's,
times.
and I'm not saying I'm perfect and I have all the money in the world. It's not about that, right? It's about settling into, okay, what is it that you actually need and want? And can you feel gratitude for that, right? Can you appreciate what you have instead of always chasing and wanting and desiring the next thing, right? Because if you can, you're always in that energy of like, I've got to go grab this or I've got to go get this. To me, that's like, it's like this never ending nihilistic circle. Right? It's always just chasing and you're never pausing, right, to appreciate like what is around you. Right. And so I love that, like how we met, how we connected, right? It was in this like
Yes.
beautiful environment in Sedona, a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, right? A lot of just ability to pause and shed the rest and just appreciate, right, what's around us. And I
Yes.
think if you carry that with you, life is going to be good.
Yeah, this is
Right?
gonna
You're
be
not going to
good.
let anything around you knock you off your track.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who don't do that. Well, they sometimes they see the issues that they have, and they don't realize sometimes they're the damn problem. They don't want to get no damn help, and that's a trigger for me now because it's like, well, this isn't working out. Get off your ass and do something about it then. Well, I don't know what to do. Journal, and I tell everyone, journal. You'd be amazed about what some of the stuff that you can pour into a piece of paper, or just get a piece of paper, write something on it, and then burn that some bitch.
I love that. Yeah, it's right. It's so amazing how much we filter ourselves,
A
right? And
lot.
I think a forum like this is like, let's see what comes out, but we filter ourselves, like even on paper. I know because I spent most of my life like not being able to journal or not being able to close my eyes. Right. I had some early childhood trauma. I was abandoned by my mother at a
Hmm.
very young age. Right. So I kind of experienced like my shit very early on. But when that happens, right, it sticks with you. Right. And so it wasn't until I got into my 20s that I was like floored, like, oh, I got to deal with my shit now. Right. And that's when I brought me back to, okay, how do I figure out like how to unravel this, what's in here?
Yeah, get all the get the shit that's in out, and do it in a. Sometimes you want to try to do it in as much of a healthy means as possible. Sometimes it doesn't come out that way. You rage at people, you rage at yourself, and then you have to sit back and like, okay, that didn't work. That shit didn't work. Let's try this. And like I said, we met in a space where it allowed us to sit back and just actually deal with it for one time, for once, probably for once in our adult lives, where it's like it was healthy, it's constructive. There's other people going through the shit, and at the end of the day, you're like, all right, I can keep going forward like this instead of being the asshole that I was, just going off on people and shit.
And yeah, I mean, it's not about like, yeah, you're still going to be an asshole sometimes. I'm going to admit that, right? Sometimes I'm an asshole, but it doesn't mean I can't also, yeah, surrender. I'd be like, how can I
Hmm.
do this better? And I think when you get in that place of like continually asking, how can I do that better? And continuing to show up a little bit better every day, like eventually you're going to look back and be like, oh, damn, like I actually made some progress. So for me, that journey, I think, started about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter was like 3 years old, and my husband at the time had like a major manic episode and just went off the rails. And in that moment, it was like this like ultimate place of having to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do anything else but just like show me what to do here. And like building myself up like one step at a time after that, and slowly asking for help, recognizing I can't do this on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first step. A lot of people, they're like, I'll just figure this out on my own. Like, and that's a lot. Like I see in a women's empowerment space of like, women, we don't need men. I don't need anyone. Well, actually, you do need men. You need women. You need people in your life to help you, because
Yes.
you and yourself, you're gonna like just get in that loop of negativity, and you're not going to be able to get out of it alone, unless you're like, you have 3 months alone, and maybe then you have some kind of breakthrough. You're in a cave for 3 months, but none of us have that pressure, right?
Yeah, in a civilized society, if you try to go at it alone, like I have in the past, that shit don't work. It shit don't work because you still have to go around people. You still need people. You still need to be around contact with people who work in certain things that you need. Yeah, this shit don't work. Like you said, unless you go to a cave and just hide out, or do like Will Smith did in his book. He went to Colorado. He holed himself up in a uh, it was like a bungalow for about a month,
Wow.
and he had breakthrough after breakthrough. But for some, it'd be nice, but we
People do
have
it.
this. Yeah.
People do it. They'll go to the Amazon, sit in the jungle for 3 weeks. But yeah, what about the rest of us? We got to show up. We got kids. We got to go to our jobs. We've got take out the trash, like all the shit that comes along with the daily life. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think again, it's small daily micro progress, right? What can I do today? That's where I come back to everything is just like, yes, I can plan all I want, but like, what about today? Like, can I create space for myself today? Can I be happy today? Right? There's a prayer. It's just for today. Like, just for today, allow me to be at peace. Right? Just for today.
It's funny. Whenever I ask for peace, it's like chaos starts coming in. Like, can you find your peace in this? Sometimes I can. I can actually get through a day, actually I can get through a couple days without cussing somebody out. just for some of the shit that they do. They come to my job and just ask me some of the most outrageous questions. Of course, being a massage therapist, you probably know the most famous question what they always ask. Like, no, we don't do that here, but I will. Just one time. Now, I'm curious. After you said a few things, I'm gonna drop some prompts on you, okay? And with them prompts, you're like, shit. You go raw, you go unfiltered, okay? I want to see. I want to see what comes out. Politics.
Mm. It's like even the word is like it like feels like gross. Like, but I love people now that are like, I don't talk about politics, or like I don't pay attention to politics. Like those are the people I want to punch in the face. Like I want to slap and be like, oh no, you need to wake the fuck up, like, and pay attention. I feel like we're in a really like bad place. Like I can get angry and mad and upset. And by the way, I was born in Washington, D.C.
Ooh.
I live an hour outside of the city.
Uh-huh.
So I know firsthand like what's happening in the energy of like politics right now.
Yeah.
Because it's in my fucking backyard. And I've got friends ready to lose their job in government. I'm seeing it firsthand in our communities. The tech bros are moving in to the city. There are Teslas everywhere. Like, it's getting weird. Okay. Like, there are fights freaking out in the streets of DC. I've never seen some of this shit. Like, people pulling out guns out of nowhere. Like, it is getting weird.
Damn. It's not like that here yet.
It's getting weird. And there are groups that are like, we gotta rally, we gotta show up, we gotta protest. And I love those people because we need that right now. Like, we need people to like stand up that can. And then I have other friends that are, that are Black, brown, gay, trans that are like, we're fucking scared to show up at the protest. And they're asking friends, like, should I go? And I never want to be the one to be like, yeah, you should go. And then they get arrested and they get thrown in jail. Like, no, I don't want to be that person. So I'm like, look, those that can should, and those that can't shouldn't. Like, bottom line right now.
I agree.
You need to decide for yourself, like, what you can do and what you can't do. And look, I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. I'm not going to go put myself in a situation that I get arrested. No, I can't do that. But maybe I have another role to play, right? So I think we all have a role to play right now, and you have to decide for yourself what that is. Like, tune in and listen to yourself. But again, what we talked about earlier, you can't do this alone. So I think the most important thing right now is community. And I know that word is thrown around a lot, but just like go find other people that have the same interests that you do. That's community.
Exactly.
You don't have to fucking live with these people and share your food and share your home with them. But I know people that do that and they're thriving, by the way. But maybe it's just like, I like this sport and I know I need to get out and exercise. By the way, warrior mode, right? What can you do to take care of your body in this time and strengthen, right? Be a warrior. So find a sport and go do it. And that maybe that starts to help you enter into community. Right. So I think we need community, we need connection right now. And maybe it starts out with like a small thing like a sport, but then it morphs into, this shit sucks right now. Let's just get together for dinner. Let's just sit around and break bread and put aside our differences and put aside what's happening in the world and get to know each other. Right. So I love to see people getting together, building community, and however I can do that right now around me. And for me, it's like a lot of, again, women's empowerment. So I'm naturally finding myself drawn to groups of women that want to get together, whether it's professional women. I've got a group on Sundays. We get together every Sunday and you're just offloading and sharing. Right. And so, yes, you can sit down and journal and write, or you can get together with other people and speak your truth. Right. And I always say, when you speak your truth, the truth comes out. Right. What does that mean? Right. I'm not performing. I'm not I don't have an agenda. I am just speaking from my heart. And by the way, we all have an agenda. So if someone says they don't have an agenda, they're lying.
Thank you. Yes.
Right.
Lying through their damn teeth. I don't have an agenda. Yes, just the fuck you do. Everyone has one. I have one. You have one. We all have an agenda.
Yes. My agenda, I want to get this message out. I wanted people to know that they're not alone and that there is a path where you can be successful, even in this environment. Right. But it requires you getting vulnerable and getting outside of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And being vulnerable. Yeah. And I know that's a roundabout way from politics, but there's a lot of shit happening around that people avoid. Like, I think that's what triggers me, is the avoidance of reality right now. And I get it. It's hard. Like, there's like a massive psyop, right, all around us right now. And how do you get information that's true, real, legitimate? Well, it goes back to my original comment. Where's your community?
True. Very
right?
true.
What are your friends, family? What information do they have that you know is true because they were firsthand, right, accounts, or they were in it themselves, right? And then when you start to see a pattern with what's emerging, then that's truth, right? You know what truth is when you really get quiet with you. But when you're
Hmm.
scrolling through memes, you're just like, oh, getting mad at, like, there are accounts out there on Instagram right now. They just want to piss you off. Like, that's their goal, is to piss you off.
Yes, yes, yes.
When that happens, you find yourself getting pissed off at the memes, you got to just like pause. So my favorite thing to do with that, when someone's posting shit like that, I want to go to their account and I want to scroll through and see, what are they about? Do they have a theme? Or are they
I
just
do
some
it.
account that just wants to piss people off? And if that's the case, I don't care what they're saying, like, fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you.
I've seen quite a few accounts like that too. A lot of political accounts, and you can tell who's on what side. And no matter what side they're on, like me, I'm independent, so I try to look at both sides just to see where they're coming from. And sometimes I just really feel that Republicans always lie, and Democrats can't keep the damn lie straight. I'm like, just tell the truth. Just don't. Your agenda is supposed to be to help us. Not we don't serve you like this clown, right? That's all I can call him, is a clown, because you can see the makeup line on him every time.
My favorite meme was like, it was Vance with like a bag of Cheetos and like fake like makeup like on him, and he was like the orange face. I was like, oh god, like, that's it. That's what's happening.
I think I've seen that one. He just is happy he had the Cheeto. He's just going off.
Selling Cheetos and I look good. Like,
Okay.
I'm glad we can laugh about this
I
because
am
it's just
too. I
really
am
bad
too.
right now, and like we're still smiling, right? It's, you can hold both right now.
Yes, you have. To me, I have to, because if I don't, I'll be like I was 2 years ago, just like this. My shoulders always up. I'd go get a massage, and they were like, "Philip, relax." I am relaxed. They're like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Oh, oh, okay." Or sometimes like this, like Michael Jackson Thriller's zombie walking down the street.
Yeah, I know. I gotta.
All right.
Let me.
Since we mentioned his name and I saw the face that you made, all right, here's another prompt. Trump.
So I have to disclose that my daughter's family, so my ex-husband and her family are from Palm Beach,
Hmm.
and so for the past 10 years, right? And I saw this like evolution, like from Biden and then whatever to Trump and back again, whatever. Been going down to Palm Beach for the past 10 years, and kind of in that world of Republican, kind of snooty, conservative Trump world, right? Let's call it that. And so, as you can imagine, with everything going on, even since COVID, right? Of course, my husband and I really disagreed on issues. And I was like, finally, I was like, oh my God, like I'm married to Trump. Like, I see it now. Like, the constant like lies and the narcissism and like the gaslighting, and I was just like, what the fuck? So I feel like I tell people now, like I really feel like I know what's going on because I was married to that world
Yeah.
for so long.
Ooh.
Like I don't know how I survived as long as I did, other than yes, I do, because I love my family and I had a daughter. So, that happened. But yeah, it's just I can see it for what it is. It's manipulation, it's narcissistic abuse, it's just straight up to your point, lies. And nobody
Gaslighting. A lot of gaslighting.
gaslighting, oh, massive gaslighting. It's misogyny, it's all of it, right? It's like, and I think we're all to the point of like, no one's disputing that anymore. No one's disputing that.
No, no,
People are
no
like,
one's disputing that no more.
like we all just all agree that yeah, massive. And then what I get triggered by is like the people that still are, they're like, oh, I hate to even say this, like, and you said, like, you mentioned the Democrats, right? They're like, oh, we're like, I love America, and we're gonna be America, and we're gonna follow the process. We're gonna follow the process. Let's file a lawsuit against him. That'll stop him.
That ain't gonna stop him.
One after the other, lawsuit and injunction and this and that, and you're like, guys, like, this is like corruption on a scale that we have never before been aware of in this way.
Yes.
In your face, and you're gonna go petition each other so that we agree on which lawsuit we're gonna file. And God love, like, I have friends that are like immigration lawyers that are like on the front lines right now, and God, thank you for these people. But like, at what point are the advocacy groups and the people filing the lawsuits and the whatever, like, when are they going to wake up to, like, this is like, you can't fight corruption with due process. It's like this circular, like, mess right now.
Yes.
And so, but I really appreciate, like, the government employees that are like, hell no, I'm not going to go mark everyone as deceased, or all immigrants as deceased in the Social Security system. I'm just going to quit my job. Like, thank God for those people that are like, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. Because I think that's what we have to do. We just have to say, I'm not going to be a part of this anymore. And I'm going to go be a part of the community that's looking ahead. And my friends are like, but I can't look away. Like, I have to be involved. I have to know what's going on. I'm like, do you?
Yeah, do you?
Waste your time with this shit show? Or can you go, like, actually think about what's good for your community now? So bring it down to the local level. Focus on building people up and look away. Like, just fucking look away. And I guess we're going to get, like, at what point are we going to get to, like, we're actually going to have to throw down? I don't know, right? Because I love, God bless all the people that are like, peaceful protest. And again, we need that right now, but there's going to get to a point where this is going to escalate. And so, and I feel like, no, like, I don't, like, I'm just not going to participate.
Yeah, there's going to be a point in time where we are going to have to make a decision. We're going to have to figure out what's truly important, what's truly, what are we going to fight for? Are we going to continue to fight each other while they continue to get rich? I'm not going to lie. I mean, I want to be, I would love to be rich someday, just to have the access that money gives so I can help my family. But I don't want to be rich for the being rich sake, because I want to look down on people. And I know some rich folks who do that. We got our money, Philip. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And some of the federal workers, like you said, I feel for them, but I have a hard time feeling bad for the ones who support him. They come into work to get the massage, and they tell me flat out, man, Philip, I lost my job. Hey, I'm sorry. I started to happen. No, this was supposed to happen to y'all. I said, y'all? Like, who the hell are you talking about? I voted for Trump. I supported him. He's supposed to take it out on you guys, not us. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad it happened. Fuck you. I'm glad you lost your job. you can't say every inch my ass.
Wow. I know people are like, oh, it's the other people that are the bad people. I'm a good person, so it's not going to happen to me. That's why people are going to be fucking blind. People are going to be blindsided. Like, if they thought COVID was bad, and I don't know how many people died during COVID. 100,000 people plus. Too many. More are going to die now. Like, that's where I feel like this is going. Like, and it's going to happen in indirect ways, right? Loss of access to medicine. I happen to work with an HIV advocacy organization that does HIV prevention, and they're straight up like, oh, you just closed the HIV prevention unit within the CDC. People are straight up going to die.
Yes, they are.
Like, no joke about it. And that's one issue. And so if people are like, I don't want to talk about politics right now, like this is beyond politics. Yes, each of us have to say what is the right thing to do for ourselves. And look, you're not going to be able to, yeah, again, you're not going to be able to do it alone. Like you're not.
No, there's no way. People who say I don't need nobody, hey, yes you do, yes you do. Don't be a pendejo.
It starts though with like, how can I help others, or how can I serve others, right? Like,
Mhm.
yes, you can't just go and expect like, oh, I need help, someone's going to help me. Well, how can you help those around you right now? And again, if you have an Instagram page where all you're doing is sparking fear and hate, like that's not helping people right now. That's
No,
just
that does nothing.
fueling the fire, and it's not helping anyone. And also, and then on the other side, avoiding it all, that's not helping anyone either. But again, we each have to check in for ourselves and do what we can, um,
Ooh, excuse me.
for those around us. So.
I agree. I used to be one of those people who would just mark hate and don't like this and this that. I was like, oh, I'm really doing something. I wasn't doing shit. I was making myself mad. I'm thinking that okay, if I hit dislike or make a just like a 2 word comment, like I see a lot of, you see a lot of people who just leave dumbass comments because they can. They have the safety behind a screen, knowing good and well. Like here in town, like where I live, a lot of people do that. They'll talk shit on Facebook. They'll say everything that they can. But when you see them in public, what do?
Right, they're not
All the damn time.
defending.
I confront them. Hi, I saw you comment. Do you have anything to say? I don't want to start nothing. Okay, I don't want to start no trouble. No, I'm not. Don't start no damn trouble. But I'm right here. There's no screen between us. Say what you got to say. Like I really feel I should call the police. Do what you gotta do. Yes, I get that a lot. I should really call the police. Go. We have a discussion right here with the police. I like throwing that on them sometimes. They're like, uh, 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 you're just blatantly looking for trouble. No, I just want to talk. But you said call the police. And my generation, we had 3 words. We had 3 words about the police. All
Uh,
right.
Sadly, I've seen that side of things as well. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like, how can we help others understand that, yeah, you can, again, I'm going to keep saying it, right? You can speak your truth, and that's actually what other people need to hear. Like, but if you continually to skirt around things and just say what other people, that you think other people want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
like that's, it's not serving you, it's not serving them, and it's certainly not allowing for connection and community to build.
No, it's
Right? You
not.
can actually
It's
have
absolutely.
greater connection if you speak from a place of truth than if you are just like giving platitudes or skirting around the issue.
On that one. On that one, that just made me think of something. People throwing out, like I said, just stuff at each other. Lots and lots of mean shit. You probably have seen the same thing I have over the last, I say maybe 2 years or something. I just knows know what's going on. Sorry, these memes lately, these conversations that seem to just be getting angrier and angrier with people. Men versus women. I want you. You're like, oh my god, that look on your face. I'm like, oh yeah, we gonna get started. But I want to do something real quick before we get started. I want to pause real quick, come back for a quick break because I have to. Just give us a quick break, and
Okay.
then we'll come right back. Cool.
All right.
All right, folks, we're back. Thank you for pausing with us real quick. Had to take care of some stuff. Well, we had to take care of some bathroom stuff. That's our lie. We're gonna stick to it. Before we signed out, this is gonna be part two, and part of the part two is what I asked her before we signed out. So I asked her, men versus women. There's a lot of that going on online nowadays, and I see it spilling over into real life and into couples and stuff like that, even between friends and family. What's your take on all that?
Mm, I love how you said that, like men versus women, as if we're like on opposite sides of like the road and we have to come at each other. Um, Gosh, you are talking to someone who's going through their second divorce.
That's why I kind of because I've been there twice too.
It's all about, yeah, the battles. And I don't do that lightly. Actually, both relationships that I was in, they were, 10 plus year relationships. And my soon to be ex-husband, we have a 9-year-old daughter, right? So there was a lot of love in that relationship. I still love him very much, right? So I always tell people, we don't leave relationships out of love, right? We don't, it actually has to be something more. Love is so fundamental that that's just a given, right? When you enter into sacred union with someone. But there comes a time when, we're moving through life and, we're changing all the time. Hopefully we're growing, right? Learning new things along the way. And that we trigger something in the other person that they need to work through. And sometimes we need to work through things on our own, and requires change and to change, right? You got to shake things up sometimes to get clear.
Yes, we do. Oh, boy, do we.
You said it earlier, some people are just angry right now. We weren't taught how to process anger as kids, right?
Yeah,
we weren't taught
we weren't.
how to process emotion, especially if I'll just go out on a limb here, especially if you're a man, right? You were not told or taught how to accept and process emotion in any way.
Because it wasn't manly.
Right. And if you're a girl, if you're a woman, you were just taught like don't have emotion, like don't cry, don't let yourself have emotion. That's not good. But we now know, like scientifically, like on the other side of this, like, okay, 40 some years later, we learn that like actually we have to process emotion, we have to feel in order to let that shit go. Otherwise, you're gonna, like you said earlier, you're gonna have your shoulders up here on your neck, and you're gonna be walking around like a freak. You got your emotions, you got stuck up here, like physically stuck in your body. And so, yeah, I've seen firsthand when men can't let shit go, and there's nothing a woman or anyone's gonna say to them to help them process on their own, right? There is always a part of our journey that we have to walk alone. And unfortunately, that's, I think at times, like that point before you recognize that there's a piece that you have to walk alone, you're in that place of, it's them, they're the issue, right? He's the issue. My life is screwed up because of him. And like, that's all you can say, right? Because you're so stuck in, if only he was out of the picture, then my life would be better. Or if only she was gone or she was different.
And I've heard that a lot.
Oh, that's good. Like, good one. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, fast forward 2, 3, 5 years. They're no longer in your life. How you doing? Did you jump right into a relationship with the next person and you're in the same place?
I've seen that. I did that after my second divorce. I kind of jumped into it right away with somebody and without any healing or trying to get myself good, and yeah, that didn't pan out at all.
it doesn't work. Yeah, right after I got divorced, I had about a year, but jumped right into dating different people.
Yeah.
Um, and then thought I met the one and, got pregnant. And I was like, oh, this must be it. This was meant to be. Um, and yeah, your shit always comes up again. It always comes
All the
up.
time.
But that's the beauty of men versus women, right? We need men and women to trigger the shit out of each other, because that's where the growth happens, right? It's like the polarities align and amazing things emerge when you're in that space. And so, yeah, I think, you're probably with the right person, or even just friends around the right people, when you can emerge and be in conflict with the opposite sex, but not be beaten down and harmed and violent, right? Because that can happen too. And I've seen that too, by the way. But can you emerge and bump up against that challenge and come out on the other side better for it? Right?
Yes.
Or are you going to get stuck in that loop of anger, and it's their problem. The problem is them. Just turn that around. So everything you say about the other person or the other sex, just turn that around on yourself. Every single thing. And people can't stand that. You're like, no, like that's not true. They're the narcissist. I'm not the narcissist. Really? Like, can you absolutely say that's true in all cases? You are not also being an asshole. So it's like, how can you look at this, or look at the opposite sex, or look at yourself from this objective place, and just give a little grace to it, because the struggle is real, and you're going to get triggered, and that's supposed to happen. It's by design. That's nature by design triggering you, because they want, the universe wants you to expand and grow and learn. And hopefully, yeah, I don't know. I pray, yeah, there's relationships or friendships out there that I'm able to be myself and learn and grow from a place of truth, right? And not be told I'm wrong, or you're doing the wrong thing. Like that might be true for you, but I'm over here learning, like, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I don't know if there's not a solution out there, right, for the people that are like, fuck women or fuck men. But I just you have to look at it with a little bit of like levity, because they're just like in a place that they haven't seen what can come out of the growth, right? What can they learn from this situation? And there's a beauty to it, right? When you actually are in sacred union with another, right? There is a beauty to it. And can you first find that beauty within yourself? Right?
I've seen the reason why, like I said, the reason why I brought that up. I've seen like a lot of, like I said, a lot of posts that basically it's like men versus women. Women will bring up something for men only. What do you feel about this? And women, and then you'll see men say for women only, and then they ask them a question. But that never had that. I've seen that everyone breaks the rules. When men are only asked to speak, there's always a woman or a few who have to jump in, and vice versa. And it's like, are you trying to hear what the other side is saying, or are you hearing them, or are you listening to respond? And half the time it's listening to respond, and that's and like you said, I love watching those posts because I see some genuine conversations come out of them where it's like, okay, yeah, we need to talk about this, because I'm triggered as hell. And some people you'll see conversations, and other side you'll see arguments. But then you see other folks like, well, you know what? I said what I have to say, so I'm peacing out this conversation. You have a good day. They're probably sitting there behind that screen or in their kitchen. God damn it!
Oh, I love that. I said what I had to say. I'm not listening to anything else. Yeah, you're just closed off to life if you're going to be that way, right? Why even share it to begin with? I think, look, these social media, these platforms have allowed people a voice that didn't have one before. And I would guess if they're posting things like that online, like about men or women, they probably don't have a community where they can express themselves and have dialogue with other men or women in an honest way to kind of hash out and talk through like what's really going on. And so instead of having, like, to your point, like healthy conversation and dialogue and learning, they're just like vomiting online and this like spewing this negative energy at other people. Like, girl, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you probably will find someone that knows what you're talking about, but how is that helping? You're just complaining. Like,
What would you say that's something right now that's going on in society that you see every day that absolutely makes you drop F-bombs every like 5 seconds?
Something that's going on. Gosh, I mean, there's so much. Like, what can we not be angry about? I think again, the real challenge for you is how do you step back from that anger and just come back to a place of peace in yourself. And so I get really triggered by people that can't do that. They do not allow for any time or space in their schedule to like decompress or to be at ease. They're like, oh, I can't afford to do that, or there's no way I can possibly do that. So then the opposite occurs, and they're so uptight and angry all the time, and they're just like in it, like minute by minute, and then stressed out, and then they're reflecting that back on the social media or other posts or whatever. And
a lot.
Painful. Like, just stop it. God damn it, just stop it. So like that bothers me, and like you can't even like explain to those people like, well, why shouldn't I be paying attention to this or be fighting or saying these things? And I'm like, I can't explain that to you. Like, if you don't get it, like,
if you don't get it, you never will.
Yeah. And so that's my thing. Like, I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. Like, if you're following me line or we're having dialogue, it's because you probably get it. Like, and I'm not going to waste my time talking to people that don't get it. Like, it's a waste of time.
Your sanity.
Yeah. But there are still situations, whether I'm talking to my boss, or I work with a lot of men, by the way. So I mentioned it earlier, right? I just happen to be working finance. And I think part of me like did that on purpose because I was like, they're not going to tell me I can't be a finance leader. Like, by the way, like 3 to 4% of women, like CFOs are women still. Like, the number is ridiculously low. And I'm like, I'm out there doing it. But I work with mostly men, and I just sit back and just let them like just do your thing. You want to mansplain to me why we need to go do this thing? Like, okay, like I'm just gonna let that wash over me. But it gets to me every once in a while. Like the push,
I bet it does.
Do, push. Act. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm playing the long game here. I'm investing in my network. I'm investing in the people around me. I'm taking on clients and projects that I believe in. I'm not playing a short game. So you can play all you want with your short-term goals, and you're not meeting your short-term goals. And I'm just like, that washes over me. But like, if I'm tired, like that kind of stuff, like, pisses me off, because I'm just like, why? Like, just like just pay attention. And so I then I have to laugh because like, and then I'm like, oh, Christin, like, just remember to trust yourself. And I was talking to a friend recently, and I'm like, like, if I made, like, so to say, for example, made this company or made this firm I'm working with over $1 million, like, they can listen to me.
They better listen to you if you made them that much money.
And And I'm not going to be told like I'm not good enough, because I've proven myself as good enough and my methods work. Right. And
Right.
so that's like, sometimes I think we get stressed out, or we work with people and we're just like, we have to, like, oh, they're in a position of authority, so they must be right. Like, if you want a good conversation with someone, what they think about authority,
Uh-huh.
I just have to be like, we're just saying, like, what did you do when you were a kid? Right. If you ask that question, well, I was like always the little rebel, like doing the things that I wasn't supposed to do. And I look at myself now and I yeah, authority, and I will respect you, but I'm not gonna turn on myself to do what you want. I know what I'm right, because I trust myself. Yeah.
Yeah, the little rebel. When you said that, I was like, oh man, I got flashbacks of doing my thing and then them getting mad and kicking my ass or yelling at me or something like that. Quit doing that. And I still did it. I still did it. My favorite comeback during the ass whippings was, it didn't hurt. It didn't know good and damn well.
Oh, I know that was the best comeback. No, hit me again. Bring it. Felt
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Boom. It's like, ooh, this still didn't hurt. Kiss my ass. It still didn't hurt.
All the all the people that are into BDSM today were like the ones that as children were like, physically punished. There were corporal punishment in school, and they liked it.
Oh man, when I heard they took that away, at the same time I was glad. I was glad they kind of took that away because I was like, some still didn't learn. They get that one swat on the ass, and the principal he had a paddle. I kid you not, this damn thick
Right?
with holes, and it was like it was long, but it had holes in it, like about this size in the paddle. No wind resistance. And I sit back and I think today, if a lot of these kids saw that paddle today, if there was punishment still in schools, no, they would not be able to hang. They wouldn't be able to hang.
It's true. I remember those paddles. They didn't even have to use the paddles. They were just like hanging up next to like benches. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Right there next to the damn chair.
Now you know why, yeah, people are out protesting. They're like, I know what's coming next. The paddle's coming. I'm not going to take it.
Oh, it's coming. It is coming. It's gonna be here sooner than we think. And something what you said too. There's people out there who are worried about going out there and protesting, and they want to be active in some way. But like you said, find a way that you can participate. If you can't be on the front lines, that's fine. And if people say you're being weak because you don't want to be on the front lines, no, that's actually in a way that's being smart. That's being smart. You have a family. You have a lot to lose. So you find different ways.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not going to help anyone if you're in jail.
no,
And
no,
if you
you're
don't
not.
believe you're going to get arrested, just talk to anyone that's been through that. And I've seen people, and you've seen it too, right? People that were thrown in my family, thrown in jail without any cause or reason, and their lives totally messed up. That should happen, and
Mm.
it's going to continue to happen. And yeah, you gotta look out for yourself.
My, s- uh, I've been to two of them here in town. My son was at Standing Rock for a year, and some of the stuff that he went through, that he's seen happen over there, he's like, Dad, he goes, there's stuff that they could have done different. He goes, on both sides. He goes, the Standing Rock protesters. He goes, they're not innocent. He said both sides could have done so many damn things differently. He said, but in the end, the only thing I saw was a lot of people who got hurt. My son still has PTSD from all that, from the stuff that he witnessed and that was going on. And even some of the security folks, I mean, they got theirs too. I mean, some of the stuff that was going on over there that he sent me some pictures of, I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be a peaceful protest. He's like, shit. That's all he says. Shit, Dad. He goes, "You ought to come up here." No, I'm good. I know
Yeah.
how I am.
It, it's just like, it's scary that we're not hearing about these things that are actually happening. Like, unless you're really doing your research
Hmm.
and out talking to people, like, so there's just everything's being whitewashed. It's just wild right now.
There's been protests down in Phoenix. They don't talk about those. Like for the last week, they've been in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Chandler. They've been all over the place. When I just recently when he went, he went down. I don't even like saying his name. It sounds like castor oil to me because I had to take that shit. Yeah, he was down there, and there were so many there. There's so many people there protesting. They didn't cover it. They pretty much they didn't let him past a certain point in the airport because there were so many people in the airport, and it was like I said, there's so much whitewashing, there's so much stuff that's going on nowadays. That's what makes me mad. That's the stuff that pisses me off. It's like why are you hiding it?
Yeah. I think, yeah, the more we can share, like when we are finding those stories, and again, like, like, are we talking to ourselves? Like, who's listening, right? And what are we actually, like, what's the energy behind that? Like, if you're sharing something like that, is it from a place of, oh shit, people need to know about this? Like, or like, what's behind that? What's your agenda?
Right.
Um, and I think at some point, like, it's a futile, like, exercise. Maybe you get to like one or two other people.
Hmm.
Like, I just feel like it's still more productive to start to build community and have real conversation and dialogue about, okay, shit sucks, like, but what can we do?
Right.
What are the things that we can do now, right, to, prepare? I think people need to prepare, right? I'm not like a massive prepper, and I don't have anything against preppers, but like, the preppers are right. Like, you gotta be ready right now. Like, whether it's natural disaster or massive, militias coming through your town. By the way, I live in an area where there are a ton of militia, like, ready to go. They cannot wait for shit to be shut down so they can.
They're just
Uh,
itching.
they're waiting for it, and yeah, just fucking be ready. Like, have food, have water, have a way to catch rainwater. Like, learn about how to grow food. Like, there's gonna be things that, yeah, people are gonna be like, I told you. Um, and so again, building the community, building your network, knowing your neighbors, like, that's gonna be what's needed right now.
Yes, I 100% agree. When so many people are just trying, like you said, trying to do it by themselves, and they can't do it. They can't do it by themselves. If shit hits the fan, yeah, how long can you last by yourself? Eventually, you're going to see that neighbor's house where everyone's at, helping each other, and you're going to eventually want to wander over there and ask for help. So, no, I agree. Start networking. Start getting ready for the shit that will hit the fan. I still hope it doesn't, but I don't know. With the way things going, it's going to.
Yeah, and I think, look, we know that something's coming and that something's going to happen, or this stuff's going to continue to happen. And how do you take care of yourself in that too? So where I live, we have a community that we like to get together and, like, have music, um, and or different healing things like sound baths or drum circles or ecstatic dance,
Mhm.
and just create community around, something other than talking about this shit, right? Because sometimes we need to process emotion, process feeling in a safe place. It doesn't always involve talking. That's what I appreciate, is that people are just willing to, like, get outside for a weekend and have fun,
Yes.
right? Even if everything is, like, not going well, like, you can still be in your body and have a good time, right? And I'm not, and I even say without, like, substances, right? Because again, warrior mode. Like, how can we be truly be in our body and take care of ourselves and love ourselves?
Right.
Um, yeah.
And for all those who are watching this, we're not we're not talking all this to make you think that, oh, this is going to be all doom and gloom and stuff like that. No, it's just we're helping bring awareness to. Yes, we're still talking mess. She is we're this is to get our stuff out of our system, but hear everything what we're saying. You don't have to agree with it. You really don't. You don't have to agree with a damn thing we say, but is always good. Sorry, it is always good to prepare. You have to have some kind of preparation. And if you're in a community where it feels like that they no you're surrounded by, you may be surrounded by friends, but how much are they helping you grow? How much are they really there for you? You'll find your people. Trust me. Once you start getting out there and focusing on what your needs and wants are, you will find your people. Trust me, you're gonna find them. And if that means you have to leave them behind, you have to. You got to take care of yourself too. You just you have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think inevitably there's going to be people left behind, and that again, you're not going to be able to save. And when you realize that you can't save others, and you also can't let people bring you down. Like I think that's the number one thing you can do right now is like when you're in the presence of someone you think is your friend, like how do you feel? Like, do you feel good or do you feel bad?
Right.
And like when you really answer that for yourself. And if it's just one time, everyone has a bad day, like I get it. But like if it's every single time that you're with them, like you feel bad, like you need to own that. And I say that from a place if I had to leave someone that made me feel really bad. And I internalized that and I kept going, I'm the problem. Like, what am I doing wrong? I need to change, or I can't say that thing around them, or I can't act like that around them. No, that's not the answer. That's you actually get to be yourself. And if you feel bad in the presence of another person, like consistently try not being around them and see how you feel.
You'll feel the difference.
Yeah.
For me, it's my inner child. If my inner child can come out and feel like playing and being natural and wanting to laugh and giggle and shit like that around people, then you know what he's good and I'm good. But if he shows up as a representative of me and not being my true self, I don't go around the people no more. I finally learned to listen to all that. And it's been a hell of a fight game changer. Even people who I've known forever, if I get around them and little Phil's like kind of like, no, this fucker here, I'm listening, and I will leave. I've done that in the last 2 months. Just really sat back and listened, and they're like, "Where you going?" I gotta go. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And they're like, "Why are you going?" I gotta go.
I love to tell people it's not you, it's me, not you. Like,
I should start telling folks that's not you, it's me. Instead of just exit stage right.
yeah, I used to get so sad about it. Like, God, it's so sad that you can't repair like the relationship or the love or like so sad. Like you just at some point you just have to be like accept that and like realize, or for me hope that there is something else out there, like to the point that allows my inner child to be out, allows me to feel the love that I have for myself in your presence versus being overtaken. Or look, the reality is, when we talked about men or women, like there are dynamics out there where I call it energy vampire energy.
No, like, so do I.
Like, especially, well, I feel it for men, right? Because men, like, so some men will come up to me like, Christin, you're so powerful. And I'm like, awesome, bye-bye. Like, because that's a super trigger for me to know that they just want to like feed off of the energy, right? And like that pull that energy, vampire energy out. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't work for me. Right. And it goes back to what we talked, like, you got to learn to like be with yourself first and to love yourself and just source your own energy and your own love. Right. I talked about the energy currency, that regenerative energy, that soul currency. If you don't do that, like, you're going to be looking elsewhere for energy. Right. So when you're a little child, like, you actually have to get energy from your mother or your parents, whoever's your parents. Right. And I didn't grow up with my mother, so it was other adults. That's how you learn, right, to build yourself up and get energy. But over time, like, you get stronger, and you should, right, in a healthy progression, learn how to source your own energy. And for women, like, women are really good at this. Like, we're just naturally good at sourcing our own energy, right? We can give birth, right? We can like pull down a lot of strength, a lot of energy. Men can do this too, but they still revert back to, I think, in the old dynamics of, where's my mom, right? Where's that energy? I need to feed off of that other energy, right? And then a lot of women, they enable that. They're like, oh, isn't that cute? Like, come here, you need me. Like, not cute at all. Like, yeah, there's so many lessons out there, and at the end of the day, we have to learn them ourselves. But find your community, find your people that are going to allow you to learn and make mistakes and not shame you for that, and allow you to have that space and freedom to do that. And for me, again, right now, it's dance. We have different styles of dance community. I mentioned ecstatic dance.
Yes.
The other day I went to a class called 5 Rhythms. I'm going to throw out some terms that people probably haven't heard of on purpose.
Go for it. I haven't heard. Let's do it.
Not because like I'm like the expert, but because there are modalities out there that you haven't even heard of that are going to change your life. Right? If you're willing to put yourself in new places, new people, new communities, and like be vulnerable and scared for a little bit to find that. So 5 Rhythms is a somatic movement practice where you're basically moving nonstop for 2 hours. And there is a progression. So it starts out slow, and then it gets faster, and there are drums, and it gets faster, faster, faster. And then it slows down again. Right. And so because naturally, like, to move emotion through our body, like, we need to really shake it up. Right. And so this is just a practice to give people space to do that. And you feel amazing afterward. Right.
I want to try it. I love dancing.
You don't talk. You don't have to know any moves. Right. You don't even have to look at anyone. Like, you can just be in a room full of other people moving, and like, we're all like experiencing the same progression, same release. Beautiful practice, especially on the full moon this weekend. It's like, when like, I've got to like shake it off, man, shake it off. So 5 Rhythms, contact improv is a beautiful practice for connection with other humans. That has been around and kind of underground for a long time. Mm-hmm. It involves light touch or movement and flow without thinking. So it's another kind of somatic movement, but with other people. Again, we need other people in our life. We need touch, we need hug, we need connection. It doesn't always have to be progressing to something sexual, right? You can actually be in contact, in space with men and women, and have connection and feel whole, right? So there are these things out there that can do that. I mentioned ecstatic dance. Ecstatic dance I found when I couldn't close my eyes and I couldn't meditate. I was like, what is this meditation shit? Finally, I found that there were movement meditations like ecstatic dance that allowed me to get out of my head and into my body. And it wasn't until I learned that I could finally sit down and meditate. I was like, oh, like, there was just like this stuck emotion in my body that needed to be released. So you can find ecstatic dance almost anywhere in the country. There are a lot of cities have routine weekly practices going on. Another great place for community. It's a very welcoming environment. You don't need to have any skill. The beauty of it, you don't need to be good at anything. And you don't need to dance with anyone. So if you're like, I don't like other people, I don't know. but I want to be around people, but I don't want to talk to anyone, right? And even those people,
Yeah.
like that's probably okay. Like an entryway into like deeper connection, right? And then once you start to kind of fold into those types of environments and activities, then you can start to find what I call like the authentic relating world, where we start to bring communication and connection and dialogue into building connection in an authentic way. There's authentic relating. There is the Art of Accomplishment podcast. They have a beautiful course that I just took called the Connections course, where they teach the view method of connection with others. View
Oh,
is
okay.
vulnerability, impartiality is I, E is empathy, and W is wonder. So how can you bring view in communication and when you're talking with someone, right? Versus again, the flip side of always having an agenda, always needing to speak over someone, always needing to be seen as like the expert or liked, right? There's another
Yes.
way, another way to be. So there's so many modalities out there that that once you start to find them or trip into, just follow the breadcrumbs, like find the next thing that's going to open up your mind to a new way of connecting. And again, I find that connection, community in an authentic way, it's just the number one thing that we need right now
Yes.
to get through all the shit that's going on.
I was with the men's group for a little bit, and yeah, I ain't gonna. That was that was cool as hell. I started I started one too. Me and some of my friends, we don't do it no more. They've all just kind of, I don't know. They thought it was weird, but most of all, it was their other halves who were getting I don't, not angry, but they're just
Mm-hmm.
always asking, "What do you guys talk about? What do you guys talk about?" And this it's for us. This is something we have to have. We don't ask, and and my homeboys would tell the wives, we don't ask you what you say in your women's groups. No, why you want to know so bad what we say? And some of them would come up to me and ask, "So what do you guys talk about?" That's not your business. That's not your business. So men, and I the only thing I'll tell them is that men have to talk about things only men understand. I said just the same as women have to talk about things with other women that y'all understand that we damn sure don't understand. And like I said, you have to find the things out there that work for you, like the dancing. I love dancing. I want to try it. I'm gonna look that up there has to be something here in Arizona that let me go out there and meet other people and just move. You
Yeah.
know, instead of thinking that, oh, like I haven't been to the club in years. And I love going dancing. I love going dancing, but I don't want to be around that environment, especially though it seems like the older you get, the younger crowd just reflects about how I used to be, and I get mad. Oh, I get so damn mad. Like, did I act like that? Shit.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you
I know I
did.
did. That's why I can't stand to be around those environments anymore. If I go, like friends want to meet up, like for food or something like that, and when they start filing in, I'm like, all right, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, again, your environment is everything, and it's not just where you live; it's where you hang out. Yeah, any place there's alcohol, and I'm not against people who
Hmm.
drink. I don't want to come off that way at all. Like, and I'm not like some person who's like holier than thou, right? But there's some attachment, negative, dark energy around any place that there is alcohol. It's
Hmm.
just a fact. And at some point, you have to say for yourself, like, is that okay? Is that what I want?
Right.
And if some part of you is like, no, that's not what I want, then don't do it. But so many people, they ignore that voice in their head, right? They ignore themselves and they're like, well,
Hmm.
my husband or my partner or my other, they wanted me to go. So I had to go and I had to drink did you? Like,
Exactly.
did
Did you
you want to
really?
do that thing? Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's so many symptoms out there of a larger issue, and you can get mad at the politics and you can like just focus on that. But if you yourself at home are not, if you're not dealing with your shit, then you have no business like being a voice for something, the shit that's going on in DC, because you yourself haven't taken care of your shit.
Yeah, you gotta take care of your shit first, and if you don't, like you said, you're gonna get shit.
The world's gonna reflect back to you what you are, and who do you prefer to be? That's the
Yeah,
question I ask myself. Who do I prefer to be right now? And I prefer peace and joy, gratitude, and I'm not going to expose myself or put myself in compromising situations or around compromising people that don't understand this, because it's not worth it. And I've been there and I've done that, and I've seen hell, and time to evolve.
I was gonna say the older you get, the more you want to change. That's not true. I know some folks my age who still are doing the same bullshit they were doing when we were kids. Being out there partying, drinking. I was like, no, so no. It just I agree. There just comes a certain point where it's like, what do you want for yourself? Where do you see yourself going? And you were probably like me. You just hadn't. You probably hit a point where you're just like, no, I'm done. Done with the bullshit. I don't need to do all this no more. How does it make me feel? Like shit? Okay, it's time to stop. Does this make me feel good? Cool, let's do more of it.
Exactly. It's that simple. Does this make me feel good? If you just add that question to your day, like, you'd be amazed at what you would learn. People don't
Exactly.
ask that. They're like, I don't deserve to feel good, or they have some story behind why they shouldn't feel good, and they're not even aware of what the problem is. And again, that's where hopefully you're around people or friends. And if look, I get it. If you're not around community or friends right now, and that is part of your problem, like, start there. And you can go hire people. And I know we talk about money. I don't have money, but at some point you got to like throw down and invest in yourself and say, I need someone to help me figure this out, because I can't figure it out myself. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, I was like, I don't know what to do here. I don't like it here. Help. And that's exactly when I
That's what
surrendered
I'm doing right
and
now.
said, oh, that's when you're gonna find what you need.
And you
So,
will. You always do. Like you, I got to the point where it's like, I do need some help. And it wasn't, no, that's why I went to the ceremony. That's when I started, talking with people about stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Start talking with people about, getting my health more, get my health better. That's when I had my damn surgery, get my gallbladder out. There's a point in time where you have to break down and ask for help. Because if you don't, life will step in and be like, no, you're going to get the help.
right. It's gonna give you what you need. And I love that you're just like, you gotta address it all. There's no shortcut either. Like,
Ooh, there isn't. There isn't.
you're gonna build your shit brick by brick like the rest of us. And
I
just
tried
own
to
it. Yeah.
go ahead.
No, just own. Just own it. Like,
Yeah,
just
I tried the shortcut method for years. Yeah, that shit don't work. It don't work at all. And that one of my friends is still trying to do the shortcut method. And I said, "How's that working out for you?" I'll get it. Don't worry. I'll get it. You let
yeah.
me know.
I have a saying that the faster money flows, the more dead bodies are behind you. Right? You try to take
Ooh.
that shortcut, get rich quick, or get the fast money, or pull something around somebody. Like, you're gonna pay. Like,
Mhm.
there are no shortcuts. And so the one thing that I like, the reason I say I trust myself, the one thing that I've done well over my lifetime is I've not taken the shortcut. I've always
Good.
like, okay, what can I learn from this right now? And if I'm not learning anything, I don't have time for it. Right. And so for me, that served me in my career. Right. Because that was like, it wasn't about like the money. It was never about the money. It was like literally about, what am I learning, or who am I learning from? Like those two things combined can be really powerful. Do I have a mentor? And am I learning?
Do
And
you have one?
yes,
Do
yes,
you?
we know
Good.
my mentor. We know one of my mentors.
Yeah.
But it's critical, I think, to have objective mentorship. And look, mentorship doesn't mean someone who is better than you. I am a big proponent of peer mentorship. So that's why I say I lead a lot of groups where there's peer-to-peer discussion around a topic, right? And that could be money, right? It could be work. It could just be parenting, whatever, relationships. But there's something to be said about just talking with others who are in the same boat as you're in, and some inspiration that comes out of that. It's critical.
You do the shortcut method means that you don't do everything what you said, the good stuff. Find like peer to peer, find a mentor, stuff like that. That's why I always feel like I'm a late developer, because I was like, I'm not doing any of that shit. Yeah, there's nothing they can do. They just think they're better than me. And I was sitting here, I was trying my best not to laugh when you were saying all that, because I was like, damn it, she's deep down calling my ass out, because I didn't think that mentor was crucial. And even at my age, I do now. I still know. I look at different people and how they operate, and I was like, okay, I'll on the slide, just they're my mentor, whether they know it or not. They're my mentor, and I think that's probably one of the best level ups I did for myself personally. And the only reason why I started doing it, because one of my homegirls, she does the same thing. It's not that she's afraid to ask someone for help, but if she knows that she doesn't have the resources right now, she'll emulate big time what they're doing, and it's worked wonders for her. So I do the same thing.
And you said it, and I think, again, there's an argument to be placed for investment at the right time. Like, you've got to be ready for that investment.
Yeah.
And then if you're not, right, if you're real with yourself, I'm not ready for that investment, just find other people who are in the same place you are, and consistently get together and have conversation around a topic, right? And again, and just like, there's something to be said for just holding space for others, or to have space held for ourselves. When I learned that, like, my world cracked open. When I actually
holding space.
Holding space, or like just being able to like speak for 5 minutes in a group and on whatever I wanted to talk about, and just be listened to. Right? We have, as humans, this innate need to be seen, right? And so, are you allowing yourself to be seen? And that, again, there's a place for investment. I invest heavily in myself with mentorship. And then there's a place for peer-to-peer dialogue. You called out the men's group. I think that's beautiful work. And there's not enough of that, by the way. So I'd highly encourage you, if your group fizzled out, maybe it's time to start that again, right? And I find that there's such a need right now for space. And I call it sacred space, or just safe space for people to be themselves, and setting that intention up front. We need more of that. Yeah.
I think I will. Because here's this whole conversation we've been having. I'm like, just the ideas, the possibilities going through my head again, and it's good. This stuff gets me fired up. I love it. Hell yeah.
I love it. Well, it's been beautiful talking with you today.
Yes,
I want to hear more of this. I think I always say, like, the short interviews, the short discussions are good, but like, it's time to like get past that and go deep. Like, long form dialogue and discussion and forums for that is like the only way we're gonna dig our way out of this shit that we're in right now.
Yes. And like you said earlier, it doesn't matter your background, black, white, your race, nothing like that. Community is community. No, love is love. And we definitely need more of that. So hopefully with us talking like this, it'll get people fired up and make them realize that yeah, we need more of this. So
Yeah, I
I'm
hope
glad.
so. And I'm so glad that I met you and that you are in my community now. Um,
Me too.
and we would have never met on the street, right? Or like, had we not taken that leap to like go to Sedona and like be with other people,
Hmm.
um, put ourselves out there. So I'm so glad, I'm so thankful that you did that work and that we both showed up and here we are.
Yes, I am very glad I met all of you. You especially because we're still having conversations like this, and like I told Brooke, this is our family. No, the whole Transcendence family. We're this is us, and I would love to do interviews with each and every single last one of them, just to let
Mhm.
them just go for it because it's needed.
It is. And let's give ourselves permission to, yeah, be authentic and to just speak from the heart.
Yes, we need to do this again soon. We will do
Yeah,
this again soon.
I would love that.
Cool. Well, folks, we are signing off. Our beautiful host, Christina. This is my family. Y'all better be good to her. If not, you know me. We would, like I said, we'll do this again soon. And thank you for joining us. And we will, yeah. Oh, I actually wanted to keep going, but I know we got shit to do.
Yep, I got to shift gears, but thank you, Philip. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you too. And folks, this is Big Daddy signing off. Kristen, would you like anything, one more thing? Anything else?
Be here now, right? What are you doing right now? Be in your body, be here now, right? And just pause. Thank you.
That's some wisdom. I'll pay attention to that more. All right. Thank you very much, Kristen. You take care.